booking you a one-way ticket to Flavor Town with a King's Hawaiian meatball sub. I gotta go. Your neighbor needs King's Hawaiian bread. Everything's better between King's Hawaiian bread. Hey, I got you. Got it yet?
I already told everyone that Laura and her mother had died. What if Laura's mother is still alive? I think a parent would do anything to keep his child safe. Even lie to the woman he loved until her baby died. Even Rain.
Good work. Where is it?
I found something else. It looks like you're the dirty cop. And you killed your partners, Wally and Cliff.
Oh, yes. Okay. Looking forward to it, Patty.
Oh, you're screaming.
Go ahead. I got it on the door.
You want my fingerprints are all over that thing.
I'm lucky like that, detective.
Yeah. I'm lucky right now. No firing pin. I took him out all the cops. That's not love. You're not gonna have to wait for help to see if I can pay.
You okay?
Yeah.
Good work, Frisoli. Now get out of those khakis, get back to homicide.
Thanks, boss.
You get better so we can move you to Walpole.
I want to know something. Would you have shot her?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I got something I need to show you.
Hello?
Hello?
I always wondered why she never looked for
Who's
me.
this, Renee?
Yes, this is Renee. Who is this?
It's Alex.
Hi, Alec. How are you? Hi, Vinny.
Fine, thanks.
How you doing, Vincent?
Wait. Here's one thing.
Hey, Nagesh.
I want my chair back.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Renee. Do we have a connection?
Yes, I hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can see and hear you. Yes. How are you?
Okay, good. Good, good. Hey, Nagesh.
Hi, all. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Yeah, I
and
can
see you.
hear you.
Okay, good.
And the other person is Alex. Alex is on the phone.
Okay.
Alex Codington.
Hi, Joe. Good evening.
Hey,
Hi, Edgar.
Good evening.
how are you all?
Hi, Edgar.
All right. How you doing?
Good. Who are we waiting for?
Well, we're waiting, I guess, give a few minutes for whoever's gonna show up. I know that, Shanti said she can't come, something about her grandkids. She just texted me. And, Shaniqua's at church, so she said she won't be coming.
Okay. So, I think we have to get a little tougher with some of the owners because a lot of them are saying a lot of things, but they really need to be here. We have to talk to all of them individually and stress just how important their participation is. Because this meeting is very important, and for them to, I know that we moved it, but for them to not make the effort to be here. Everybody says they want to better the place. Everybody says they want to do a lot of things, but you actually have to be present to do it. So I think we need to make an
Well,
effort.
I got a lot of guff because the meeting was changed.
I know.
Like you saw Michael, what he said. So we also have to be careful about changing meetings.
Yeah.
They need more than a couple of hours notice, I'm assuming. But the bottom line is, even with a couple of hours or a couple of days, if they're not sincere with where we're going, they're not going to be there.
Well, Renee, you know this, and Joe, I share this with you. I've been associated with Snowshoe for 20 years. And it's always been like this, to my knowledge, okay? And, hopefully it could get changed, and hopefully this, this group would be able to change that. But that has been the culture of Snowshoe, unfortunately. So, we shouldn't be surprised. And again, I apologize for that I wasn't able to get on yesterday, but I don't know that, that would have made a big difference. I see we got 6 people on the call. We may have had 2 or 3 or 4 more, had it not been changed. But this is historic, how things have been, unfortunately.
Yeah. So let's make an effort to talk to these owners and just really impress on them that if they're serious about this, they need to be on board, because this is a Zoom meeting. It can't get any more comfortable than this. What's going to happen this summer when we're asking owners to really put some sweat equity and go there and try to help fix up things or paint stuff or hammer things that need to be done. If no one shows up, then we're not really going anywhere. You got to show up to be in the game. It's important, but thank you for everybody that has actually shown up. So Renee, do you want to, who else do we know that is coming? Is Lynn coming? Is who's missing? Is Michael's wife gonna come?
I can call them. This is a job we need to give to somebody. I mean, because this is really, like, I have to call people, remind people.
I know.
And then when people don't show up, and this is something I've done now for the whole time.
How you doing, Renee? It's me, Natalia.
It's
Natalia,
How
are
you
you?
doing,
Joe.
Natalie?
Hello. Howdy. It's worth discussing going forward. We're going to have somebody that gets everybody in line and really does the follow-ups to make sure that people are informed and do show up. Working with people around the world like I do, I know it's difficult, but we have to make an effort to get everybody to come. So let's give it a few minutes and try to get everybody to come, and then we'll just start the conversation.
Yeah, we should try to get everyone as much as possible onto the WhatsApp group. That way you can instantly exchange messages, the WhatsApp chat.
Yeah.
You think that may increase attendance, Nagesh?
At least people get notified instantly, right? Email is one thing, people has to log in and check frequently, but mostly these things pop up on the screen, whether they like it or not.
We should try everything.
Yeah.
How you doing, Edgar?
Good.
Hey, are you coming on the meeting? Well, they're there. Hold on. Hello? She's gone. Hello?
Alex, what's happening with unit? Is it ready for rental? Alex, this is for Alex.
Who are you talking to?
Hello,
Alex,
Alex.
Alex.
Oh, Alex. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I was
Time
like
we
that.
go to the meeting.
I don't know if Dale, no, it's in the house. They fix it full. Stuff, but not.
Caitlin,
Lena's here.
Hey, Renee.
Hello.
Renee.
I have to do it.
Hey, Joe.
Howdy.
Good, honey. How are you?
Good.
yeah, did you log into the meeting? You gotta read your emails, Thomas. Okay, well, see if you can get on. Okay.
Hey, where are you going? Oh. 17.
I'm talking to you. Rock, rock. Hi, Stinker. Hi, Stinker.
Oh, guys.
What you doing?
So Joe, you probably should just go ahead and start, and whoever comes later, they can look at the tape video.
Is Thomas coming in?
He said he's trying to get on now.
Okay, let's give him a minute to get in and then we'll have one more. Who is the telephone?
It's
Forward.
mine. Natalia
it's-
and Teresa.
Hi,
Hello?
Joe, Natal and Teresa. Hi.
Yes.
I see you guys. Hello. No, but I'm
Alright.
talking about.
Try to get
there's,
on the meeting.
I see you all. Hi, Natalia, Teresa.
Yeah.
I see that there is a telephone here. You're on the iPhone, but I'm talking about another
You
participant.
what?
Oh,
That's the-
Alex from 107-202.
Oh, that's Alex.
Yes, that's
Okay.
Alex. That's me.
Okay, great.
Uh-huh.
I want to make sure that since
Oh,
Alex,
okay.
we cannot see you, we all know that you're here.
All right.
Since you are being recorded.
Yeah, well, let me go back to the meeting.
Your hair
and-
looks great,
and
Lance.
talk- All right.
I wish mine looked like that.
Vincent, you probably, like, before you come to the meeting, go downstairs and help Thomas get on.
Okay, I could do that next time. I can't do it right now.
Yeah, no, I'm saying next time. Because he always has a hard time getting on.
Okay, so let's just get started because we want to keep these concise and right to the point. So let's start with confirming that the voting is going to start on the 22nd. Edgar, do you have some kind of update on that?
Well, yeah, I do have an update. And one of the issues that we did not resolve last time, Joe, which has to be resolved, obviously, is who's eligible. Who's eligible to vote and who's eligible to serve
Right,
on the board.
I understand that. That's on the agenda, but we also have to have the logistics for voting.
Well, logistics, yeah, what happened, well, the update there is that after our last meeting, I contacted Simply Vote, and they said we've already had an account and they could run another election. That would be no problem. They would just need to know the names and who the people were voting and who was eligible. Since we already had an account, and I think they said it would cost significantly less than it did the first
Okay.
time.
So we could
That's
get,
not an issue. But the big issue was the eligibility issue.
we can get that going by the 22nd then.
But I don't know how you get it going by the 22nd if we don't know who's eligible. How are we gonna deal with that?
One thing at a time. We're gonna discuss that. We're just talking about the logistics.
Well,
Of
the logistic, it can be done, but yeah.
Okay,
That
good. So
can
we're
be done,
still-
but I'm not saying it's gonna be done because we still have the question of the eligibility.
We're still on track to get it done by the 22nd.
I don't know how you do that, but go ahead, let's go through it.
Barring any issues.
I don't,
Okay. So now getting to the eligibility, there's a conversation about who is eligible and who's not, and modifying Section 8. The owners do have a right to do for eligibility. So that's what this conversation was about. And I know that there are some strong opinions, so let's just start with that. Edgar, you have some strong opinions. Let's start with you.
An opinion on what?
On
I'm not
eligibility.
quite what you're asking.
On eligibility.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the things I could, Joe, if people interested, okay? And I asked the attorney just to give us his view, okay, on what that actually means. I mean, it'll take me about 2 minutes to read if people are interested in it. Okay, if people are not interested, that's fine too. But let me just read it. I think it might be helpful to the conversation. Like I said, and it addresses the issues I think that were raised last time. The eligibility to serve on the board. An owner, and it's simple, by the way, and I don't think anybody gonna dispute what the bylaws say. An owner must be current on assessments and have no other current violations such as violations.
Interruptions?
I'm sorry?
Are other people experiencing interruptions? I couldn't hear you. It's
okay.
unstable.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Tom is in.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're just 4 quick bullet points. Eligibility to serve on the board. An owner must be current on assessments, that's obviously dues, and have no other current violations such as violations or restrictive covenant. For voting, the same standard applies. An owner must be current on assessments and have no other current violations such as violations of a restricted covenant. 2 other points, the current board members are also members, so as long as one of them, or as long as they are in good standing, then a current member can run. There is no authority to keep a current board member that is in good standing from running. And the reason, so that everybody knows, I asked them to opine, give us an opinion on that. If my memory serves me correctly, I thought somebody said at the last meeting that no current board member should be eligible or allowed to run again. So I wanted to get clarity whether the board actually, I didn't think that that was allowed, but I wanted to get clarity on that. And that was the response. And then the last bullet, Article 15, because we had this discussion as well. Article 15 of the bylaws provides for a 75% affirmative, an actual yes vote of eligible owners to amend the bylaws. And basically what that means is that if we're going to change the bylaws, what we do need is 75% of the eligible owners approving that change.
75%. You said 2 different things.
I said 75%, 75. It wasn't between, so it was 75% affirmative. That's
Okay.
Article 15.
So,
So I
already,
have that quote here.
I'm on it.
Wait a second, I've got that quote here, right from the bylaws, and it just says 75% of the votes, 75% of the units. I'm not sure where the eligible part comes.
Right, correct. Well, that says the same thing, right? Is there any dispute about that?
Well, there's a difference between eligible and 75% of the votes are the owners. So, because then you're saying that only certain people can vote to change the bylaw.
Eligible. Well, that would be consistent, right?
Doesn't
Why would
say
you be able to vote in one thing and not the other necessarily? I mean, just a point.
It doesn't say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so good. So yeah, you're right. And there is nothing, what was said last time was someone's opinion about the current board members and the way that the majority of owners felt. So it wasn't that you can disqualify them if they want to run. But the majority of owners felt like they should not run.
That's entitled to that opinion, obviously.
Right. So that was it. And I think, that's something that the current board members need to take into consideration if they really are on board with trying to fix all this. If their presence will create an issue moving forward. And, we all want to better this place. Like I said, I'm disappointed a lot of people are not here, but I'm happy that the number of people that are here. So it's a start, right? So that's something that current board members really need to consider going forward. With that said, does anybody have a response to Edgar in terms of that? We know that we can change the bylaws to allow whomever we want to run.
Are any of the current board members planning on running?
Well, why don't you answer that first, Lynn, because you're a board member.
I'm not currently a board member, no,
Since when?
since I sold my unit.
Oh, okay. Are you still an owner?
I'm an owner with my husband on one.
Okay, right. So you're, okay, all right. Did you resign? I didn't know that you resigned, by the way. Okay.
Yes, well, I'm not an owner, so
Okay, oh, okay. That's fine. Welcome.
So you're representing your husband.
yes, I'm currently representing my husband.
Okay. So Jason would be voting.
Yes,
You've got some sort of proxy for him to vote for.
I currently have his proxy as far as these meetings go.
And how many units do you still have, Lynn, with your husband?
One,
How many units are still in the name of Jason still have?
one,
Oh, okay. Just so that we're clear. Which one is that? Just so we're clear,
107,
right?
103.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So are you planning on running, Edgar?
I don't know. I don't know.
Edgar, you've said several times
Yep.
through writing and in the previous meetings that you were not planning on running.
Right.
So if you're changing your mind, you need to be clear and let us know.
Right. Well,
Not ambiguity.
I don't know yet. Okay, I don't know whether I'm going to do that or not. It is likely that I probably won't because of some personal situations. And all of you on this board should know, okay, when you run for the board, it is no picnic. You know, Joe has said over and over, and I can't reiterate, okay, it consumes a lot of commitment and a lot of time, okay? Renee can verify this, particularly in the last couple of weeks, okay, because of the snow. I talked to Donald, at least Donald, for those of you that may not know, he's the maintenance guy that we have on property who deals with the snow under very difficult conditions because we don't have the proper equipment really to move the amount of snow. And he has struggled daily, okay, to do the best that he could. And so I'm just saying that, you know, I talk to him 2, 3, and sometimes 4 times a day, okay, just to make sure that we do the best that we can under those circumstances, okay? But Joe, I don't think this ought to be about me running from the board.
Well, the question is about who is currently on the board that is running on the board. That was just
right,
yes or no answer. So anybody else on the board that would like to answer that question? And then Edgar, I just want to address what you just said after they answer.
Okay.
Natalie, Teresa, are you planning on?
No, I'm not running for the board no more. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
As
So
far as
You want to do it?
I think about, but I gotta think.
Jason is considering, and I'm considering.
And where is Jackson now? Is now with you, your husband?
Excuse me?
Where is your husband?
He's in the other room.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't see him.
we don't see him. That's why I want to ask you.
Yeah, no,
Well,
he's in.
But Lynn, the current board members should know that Jason, I mean, current owners should know that Jason's been a member of this board for about 2 years roughly.
Mhm.
Okay, and he's never once attended a meeting. He's never lifted his hand to do absolutely anything, nothing, okay?
He's never
You can
attended a-
attest to that as I can, but you know, but let's be clear. Let's be clear, let's be clear.
and we're not here to discuss all that stuff in the
Right,
past.
yeah, I'm just, but people just ought to know. Okay, I mean, he can run. I mean, I have no objection to him run, but people ought to be clear.
I know you got a lot to get off your chest. I know you've carried.
Not really, Joe. Joe, I'm just trying to do what's right. Okay, I'm just trying to do what's right. But we should not, but Joe, here's what I'm saying to you, my friend. We made a mistake the first time around, okay, by putting people on this board. And that's why Snowshoe is in the condition that he is. Lynn has spent a lot of time, okay, and a lot of energy and a lot of effort, okay? We put down, Jason got put on a board, he never attended, but I'm just saying, we just need to be sensitive. We don't have to argue it. We don't even have to discuss it. I just wanted to make that point. Let's get past it.
Okay, good. So
Agree with you, Hector.
So we're definitely trying to move past. We've come a long way. The units now all have insurance.
Yes.
Insured, and thank you for that, Edgar. I know you've carried all of the weight. And, you know, like I said last time, we've got a lot of people here that want to help out. We haven't gotten everybody else
Right.
on board yet, but we're moving in the right direction.
With all due respect, Renee deserves credit for that as well, by the way, because she was in the mixing, helping get all that done.
But okay, so let's stay focused. In terms of eligibility, there were some strong opinions about.
Excuse me, Jose, can you speak up a little bit? I can't hear you.
May Thomas, okay. In terms of eligibility,
Thank you.
there was some strong feelings about who or who couldn't run. So we wanted to take a vote in terms of eligibility. And there may be some owners that seemed to have been backdooed, but I think a lot of that stuff has been cleared up and on its way to being cleared up due to some accounting issues that you know, preferred management had. And thank you, Vinny, for bringing that to light through attorneys and all that and clearing all of that up. You know, whether the board was aware of that or not, that was a big issue and it affected a lot of owners, but we're on our way to clearing that up. And I think we, you know, that helps out. So eligibility, we have the right to alter the bylaws. We are the owners. We're the decision makers and the board works for the owners at the end of the day. The owners are the owners. So does anybody want to propose changing them?
I make a motion, and it's the same motion that we did that put the current board in place. I make a motion that if you are an owner in Snowshoe, that you should be able to vote and or sit on the board. Now, I make that motion with a little bit of caution because obviously since 2017, we had exactly, I think it was 14 people at that meeting in 2017 when we made a change. And we never had a large meeting. We never had a lot of owners that came out unless it was owners and tenants. Okay, so let's say that consistently, we usually never get more than 12 people that are involved, but everybody complains. And I think, you know, Natalie in the beginning, he used to say, oh, let's just start over. Let's just forget about it and start over. Well, we really couldn't do that because we wouldn't have gotten anywhere. But if we want these people to participate, we have to find a way to include them.
Renee, why you said that? They don't want to come over. You know that.
What?
They don't want to come over. We go through 4 years for this. Nobody show up. Nobody's interested. Nobody
Natalie,
care.
that's what I just said.
So
that is
you
what I
wanna-
just said, Natalie.
Yeah, because nobody's interested. We was just few people in the meeting when we start changing the thing in the snowshoes. Because if you remember, they never paid the electric bill for the office. My husband paid that. So the other people, they not doing nothing for the snowshoes. We try to do something, but it's not too many owners really interested. Because we see for so many years, it was just 5, 6 people, that's it. The rest promise, and they not doing nothing today.
Some of them want to come aboard just for interest only, that's all.
So we had the experience already, Renee, you know.
So how do we change that? Well, let's stay focused on eligibility to run.
I made a motion.
What is your motion?
I made a motion.
I'll second it.
What is the motion exactly, Renee? I'm sorry.
My motion, I make a motion that anyone that is an owner in Snowshoe has the right to have a voice, a vote, and to serve.
Regardless of whether they're in arrears or not. Is that what your motion?
That's correct. Because I believe as when we took over, as we included these people, as we looked at what their problems were, we got a lot more people that started paying.
Mhm.
Please do not shake your head no, because the records, I gave all of you books and records. The records show altogether different. So don't shake. We had $0 when we started. And yes, your husband paid the electric bill in 3 buildings where they shut off the electric the day after we took over. You're right. But let's also be equally right that when the people saw change, not everybody, but a lot of them all jumped in to help make that change happen. It wasn't just the 3 of you.
But Renee, everybody offered, but nobody doing nothing. When we was in the meeting,
listen,
everybody say,
you
we
asked
want to
us
do
to
it
ask a
this,
lot
we
of
want to
people.
do it that. Excuse me, I'm talking. And then when they gotta do it, nobody show up. You know that. You know that.
They shut up. It's bullshit.
But it's true now.
I think we should move on. Basically, that motion, like we should come with a caveat, right? Basically, let's say they're eligible to run for the office. What if they're still delinquent after 3 months or 90 days, or like you still like want to continue in the office if they can't resolve their like delinquency?
Yeah, Nagesh, I was
Right.
gonna say the same
Yeah,
thing.
no more 3 months.
I think we need to amend that motion and just put incentivize people. You want to participate, you want to vote, then you need to get your house in order. We're going to give you the opportunity, but we
Right.
also need to give maybe 6 months for them to get everything in order. And if they're not in order, then they lose the right to be on the board and they lose the right to vote. Let's
You
give
should
people
make it
the
3 months,
opportunity.
not 6.
That's correct.
I'm
I
sorry,
agree with that. That is
Yes.
cooperative and not punitive.
Sorry, Thomas, I didn't
That's
really hear
fair.
you.
You should make that a 3 month, not a 6 month re-rent thing.
Okay, 3 months might be a little tight for some people. Like, can we agree on 4?
Can we
I would go
agree
with
that
the
it'll be
6.
something,
I mean,
that it'll be something, and that when the board is in place, they can continue, they can further the conversation?
Right.
That
And
we agree
so-
that it has to be something, but we also need to give it we need to look and see why these people are late. We need to look and see what the situation is. COVID is very serious for some people. Some people might not even be working. So let's not just jump at a 3 month or 6 month right now. We also said we were gonna look at why they're late. If they're just late because they just don't want to pay the dues and they got a job, that's something different. But
No,
that's
not like fair, Renee. Basically, if that is a true statement, then all 52 owners will have some kind of issues paying the dues, right? If we go with that rule, in tough times, like everyone come up with their own story, right?
I think that's too open-ended. I think we need to put some real tight rules into place and then really follow them and hold people accountable. I think, yes, you're right. There's been a hard time. COVID's in place, but 3 months might be too little. 6 months, I think
it might be too long.
Might too
might be
long,
too
yeah.
long.
It should be progressive approach, right? Basically, if you're delinquent like $2,000 for say, like play it in 6 installments or whatever. Like basically, like you can't like wait until the 180th day and then like clear it on the last day, right? That's not.
At least you can start a payment plan.
Yeah,
Right.
payment
You're,
plan.
you're meeting your payment plan and you're meeting your obligations, and we go past the 4 months and we decide it's 4 months, then it's okay. We see that we're on the path to clean up. But if 4 months have passed and you haven't done anything, then we know that you are an issue. And maybe we need to also force a selling of those units. If they're going to continue to be an issue, then the owners association can force those units to be sold.
I would just add to the discussion, Joe, so people are aware that a number of people that are in arrears were in arrears long before COVID. Okay, so COVID is a reason for some people, but certainly not for everybody. Just wanted to share that with folks so they know.
Yeah, so was preferred management's fudging numbers.
No.
Well, there are different reasons and they're all individual, so let's.
If you think preferred management fudge numbers, I would take them to court. Okay, I'd sue them. Why would you? If you think that they were doing that?
I
Well,
personally am.
We know there was some issue there, and a lot of owners have had it cleared up by working with attorneys and preferred management. So you can't say there wasn't an issue. We know that there was some real issue. whatever it was. And for whatever reason, maybe it was a mistake, accounting, there was some issue, but it's been cleared up. But, you know, my recommendation is let's do 4 months. Let's get everybody to vote. And at 4 months, that's a cutoff. If they are making payments and showing good faith, then we can extend that. And if not, then at some point we will have to meet and address those cases one by one as an owners association and potentially force the selling of those units. Because if we're serious about cleaning this up, we have to hold people accountable and we have to be actionable.
Yeah, that's reasonable, Joe. I agree with you 100%.
Does anybody else agree with that?
Yeah, I agree.
Yes,
Yes, definitely.
yes.
Yeah.
Joe, it's another thing I think maybe nobody bring out. No, I have to sell the unit. I can get the rent from them and pay the dues. It's one thing we discussed one time ago. It's possible too.
I'm
Get
sorry.
the rent.
Okay. I didn't fully understand you. I apologize.
Right, we can, instead of foreclose them, we can get a rent from them as a payment.
Okay. If we foreclose them,
Before we go close them, yes,
get the rent from them.
yes, get the rent from them. It's something I threw out to Edgar a long time ago. Look like it's possible to do it.
Okay, if it's possible to do it, like I said, we have to address these issues one by one, and we will all meet as the owners, not a small group, not the board, all of the owners. So there's transparency, so that we're all moving forward together in an agreement. Because part of the problem is when you close that door and everybody's outside and nobody knows what you're doing, you open everything up for speculation, for rumor, for lots of problems. And there's power when we work together. So I think that's a way to move forward and try to clean this place up.
So you're saying a 4-month plan?
Yes.
Joe.
Hello,
Hello.
Joe.
Hey, Alex.
Go ahead, Alex.
Yes, let me just quickly address that. Because first of all, you never get everybody coming at the same time. It's impossible. It ain't gonna happen. Being frank. Secondly, I think that whatever owner is in the meeting should make an address as to why they wasn't paying. Maybe they wasn't paying because the association wasn't fixing, I don't know, because we have a lot of problems down there, fixing their unit for whatever reason. And if there's a dispute between the owner and the association for that reason, I think that's even a bigger issue. They shouldn't be penalized if I had a problem with my unit and nobody's fixing it and I hold back my dues because of that reason. That's due reason for holding back the dues.
That's true. And that's why I said we need to address everybody's situation individually.
But I would also share, is anybody on this call, anybody that doesn't have some problem with their unit that they feel as though that the association should be paying for? Anybody? I got 5 of them, and I can tell you a litany of things that I think the association ought to be doing. Anybody else have that situation, or everybody's unit is okay? I'd love to hear that.
No, I
Yeah,
got
I got
trouble
problems
too.
with my
I
unit,
you know
too.
that.
Okay.
I got trouble.
Deck,
I got trouble. I'm having that deck
Okay.
for many years.
Okay, right.
know,
Renee
on
can
deck.
testify. Renee can testify to her unit that she believes strongly that there are a number of issues out there that so do I. By the way, I feel the same way. Crawl spaces. Okay, everybody's crawl spaces is in bad shape. So the point is that everybody can make that claim. So if that's the case, let's nobody pay dues, and where do we go from there?
Yeah, but that's why we'll have to take it case by case and then make this.
Right. But I think, Joe, you should do that prior to having a vote. And I'm going to vote against this so that everybody's clear. But I just want people to know that we're also governed by the State Condominium Association. And I just want to be clear again, I will run this by to make sure that if this vote passes by 75%, that I will just want to be clear that it's a legal thing that's being done.
Okay, I would like to make a motion at this.
Excuse me, we have to do one motion at a
You already
time.
have a motion on the floor, Lynn,
We have to do one motion.
right?
So
So the
how
motion
many
was
people-
done and it was a second.
okay, I vote for this motion.
I
vote for it
this.
I vote.
I vote no.
No.
Renee, you gonna
yes.
do a roll call? Renee, why don't you do a roll call so you got the record straight?
No,
Okay, so we have, all right, I'm going to go straight down the list.
Right,
I'm
right.
first,
Good
I vote yes. Well, there's a list on this, for me,
Right.
there's a list here.
And if anybody's
Edgar
here,
Rami, you're next on the list. How did you vote?
no,
Okay, Edgar Rami voted no. iPhone, so that would you, Alex, that's you. What do you vote?
Yeah.
Alex?
I said yes. I vote yes.
Okay. Next on the list is Nagesh. How do you vote?
Yes.
Okay, 184, 484.
That's
Who is
Alex.
that?
Alex,
That's Alex.
you already voted.
Okay. Well, who's the iPhone?
it's a me. Renee, it's
Natalie.
me,
Oh, that's you,
Natalie.
Natalie?
Yes,
Okay, I'm sorry. What do you vote, Natalie?
no,
Okay, Lynn, what do you vote? Or
Yes.
But me,
Vincent, what do
Yes.
you vote?
let's see, you know.
Joseph?
Yes. So essentially, it's 7 yeses to 2 nos.
but excuse me, Joe, they know ask me. And in the place too,
Right.
there is something.
Do you own units
Say
together
no.
or individually?
Yeah, they have two entities actually. They have one LLC and one individual, so they can,
Yeah.
she can vote here. Go ahead, vote your thing, please.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
on.
I
Yeah.
say no. I say no.
Okay.
And she's a member of the board, so I don't know how we could not allow her to vote.
Mhm.
So is it 10
Nobody
people
was
on the
not
call?
allowing her to vote.
Are there 10 people on the call or 9?
There are
You have
9.
10 people.
No, I only see 9 participants. Renee, could you run that down again?
No,
we
there are
can worry
10.
about that?
10.
Okay.
There are 9 participants, but 10
Okay, it's
because
me,
Natalie-
you, Natalie, Joe, Nagesh, Lynn, Tom, Vincent, and Alex.
That's 9.
And also
Natalie
Teresa.
typed. Teresa.
And
She's
Teresa.
Teresa and Natalie are on the same line.
right.
Right.
So that gives
So
us 10
that's
Okay.
people.
2 people
Teresa.
making it 10.
Right,
Right.
10, right.
No, like a night
So-
with me.
So it's 7
10.
yes, 3 no, is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
And 75% of 9 is what? Who's our mathematician? 6 point what, 75? Right?
Edgar,
Yeah.
it's time to let it go. You understand that? You know,
So
Renee gonna.
No, that's-
It's
listen,
time
we
to
we
let
live
it
in a
go.
democracy. We live in a democracy. right?
It's 7
And
people.
The vote was
I'm-
taken. Okay.
I'm curious
And
as
the
to
10 that's
why
recorded.
the no votes.
Why the no votes?
Yeah.
Because I don't think that it's right. What I'm gonna start doing now, I'm gonna stop paying my dues. Okay, until everybody else pays their dues, and I'll put my dues in escrow. Joe, I'll put it in whatever account you want it to, but you know.
Oh,
when
go
people
ahead.
start paying their
Throw a
dues,
monkey
I'll do the
wrench.
same thing.
Throw a monkey wrench. You've been doing this since December.
That's not a monkey wrench. Why don't you, I pay my dues, why don't you pay yours? And I don't know.
I
what to
do.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, but what about everybody else?
I'm current.
Okay, all right, good.
I'm current.
But we're 9 people. How many owners are we? How many owners are we all together, Renee? 30 something, 32, 33?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then, you know,
Anyone choosing not to pay the dues can always go to court.
and you know, you're gonna lose your rights in 4 months. What we're doing is just giving people the opportunity
Well,
to fix it.
Exactly.
Nothing is going to change.
yeah,
You know,
but Joe,
the only
I don't disagree with that. I
the
don't
only
disagree with that.
change, Edgar, the only change that could possibly come from this is positive. Because if nothing changes, then we're kind of exactly where we are. We're trying to give the opportunity or open the door for something positive to happen. By voting no, you're saying, I don't even want the opportunity
No, that's not correct.
to happen.
No, that's not correct.
That's exactly what
I disagree with the process, okay? All right, and I just don't think that, these few owners, represent the majority, even
Who is
75.
defining the delinquency, by the way? By what book the delinquency is defined?
I don't understand what you're saying, Nagesh.
What do you mean by dues? I mean, what is the definition of current?
That the assessments are paid up to date.
So whatever is billed, you have to pay.
That
That's
is
what you're
correct.
saying.
Unless it's in dispute, a legitimate.
Yeah, it's a dispute. Yeah, yeah. So what if there are legitimate
Right.
disputes? Then like,
Right. Nagesh, I believe that you had a legitimate excuse, and you will remember I intervened there to try to get it resolved. You remember that?
yeah, I know that.
Okay,
I
okay.
try.
So, and
I know you tried to help me,
you
but
had a legitimate dispute, okay, in terms of what it was, okay?
but what if the same
Yeah.
thing happens like 2 months before elections? Everybody get like some late fees kind of thing from preferred management. Everybody will become ineligible, right? In that case.
Yeah. So,
I'm
but everybody has
I'm sorry.
gotten, I think everybody knows what they owe, right? What they currently owe, all right? And a number of people just have not paid, okay? So,
No, owing is one thing, right? Basically, as long as like whoever, I'm not willing to like, I mean, I'm not like running for the board, but my suggestion is we should not take away their rights to like stand. Then like if they have a legitimate explanation and legitimate like reason to pay in catch up in 3 or 4 months, we should give them a fair share of opportunity.
I think
right?
we should, but I think that they should do that prior to them serving on the board or being eligible to vote. That's my
Well,
only question.
they'll lose their right in 4 months.
If they don't pay it.
But maybe that'll be the incentive. Maybe that's the incentive for them. You've got to incentivize people. You got to give people an opportunity and hope. You got to give people a chance.
Exactly.
And if not, they lose it.
Yeah.
What we're saying is just give it a chance.
Yeah, but you give you here the chance, a couple of people. So how many do you want to give you 4 more months?
That's essentially
And
it.
then give it the
Look,
song.
a few months ago, when I started getting involved in this, Nagesh had problems. If we go the way you're saying, his problems would have not been solved, or maybe he would have not been able to participate, but it wasn't his fault. Vinny was the same thing. And you're excluding them by saying no, and not giving them the chance to really remedy the situation. And that's exactly what would have happened.
No, but Joe, I don't think that that's correct, okay? Because what we're saying here, that people, if they're gonna,
That's correct, because we had this meeting and we were having this conversation
right?
2 months ago.
But Joe,
Nagesh would not be able to participate.
people
Vinny
have
would
had,
not be able to participate.
people have had sufficient time, okay? to
You know,
say-
Michael Amico, he walked out last night because of these shenanigans. I'm sure he would have agreed with it, and his wife. So they've been excluded because somebody here is so full of himself. And I think we should invite Michael.
Let's not go there.
Right.
These are not shenanigans.
Mr. Minio, if you want this meeting to deteriorate, okay, be my guest, okay? We don't need to cast aspersions on people or individuals.
Okay, all right, listen, guys, hello? Point
think
of
we're going
order
left
here,
right now. Let's
point of
go left.
order.
These are
Point
not
of order.
Seriously, come on.
these are not shenanigans. They have legitimate experience where maybe they've tried and it just has not happened. What we're saying is let's give it one more chance, So they're coming from having dealt with this for a while and not been able to make any headwind. And that's where they're coming from. And I understand that. I think we should all understand that, but we're all getting together now and saying, let's try it one more time. We have some different people now. We have some kind of momentum. Let's just try it one more time. What have we got to lose in 4 months? If nothing changes, nothing changed. But we have the opportunity to make that change. So why not seize it?
Okay, what happens if you don't have enough? I have one more question in that topic, guys. Let's take your scenario, right? Let's say if you disqualify all the people who have dues, let's say like how many people are current. So let's go with that count. And how many people within the current are willing to participate in this board? So let's go with that count. Let's see like what we end up with.
Well, Joe, we had a vote, okay? And I think we agreed that in order to make a change.
Oh, we
that
got
we
one
need
more participant.
Okay.
Can I
Hey
just-
guys,
for a minute?
I'm
Hey,
here.
how you
One
here.
moment. Okay, we had a vote.
Okay.
Take me one moment, okay? We had a vote,
Hi, sir.
okay? And the vote was it was,
7-3.
7 to
We have one
3.
more participant now.
We have another party now.
75%, okay, of 9.
Victor, we have one more participant.
Renee, can you pass me the host? So that I can.
I got it on.
I think somebody needs to pause their mic.
Mute themselves. Whoever's got their television on.
Could you hear me? I put-
What did I do to pass you the host before?
Yeah.
No, you gotta select my name and then just say
Oh,
make host.
okay.
Okay, so we just had a vote, or we were discussing the idea of eligibility, just to bring you up to speed. And what seems to have passed by 7-3 is that we are going to allow people that are back dude to vote and participate on the board, and give them 4 months to get up to speed or to get on some kind of payment plan. So that way we can kind of build some sort of momentum in terms of helping all the owners address the issues and participate. And after 4 months, you know, if we've seen that an owner has not made any effort to try to participate in Snowshoe, they'll lose all their rights. And we also have the possibility of forcing a sale of their unit. We would also have the possibility of forcing a sale of their unit if they're not making, you know, progress. But we see that they're on a payment plan and they're doing well, you know, and they're participating, then we can allow that extension. So your vote is the last one missing out of the owners. So far, it's 7 yes to 3 no's. So let's just include your vote and let us know how you feel, whether you want to say yes or no to this proposal. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay, so I think that's fair. They're allowed to vote. I'm giving them 4 months to pay. If they don't make any payment, and it doesn't matter. Their votes doesn't matter. I think that's fair enough. We're being fair. Okay,
Okay.
I agree
So
with that.
on the opposing, on the no side, is they've, you know, been dealing with this for a while. And they really don't think that, you know, I guess there's frustration that, you know, they've had their personal experience.
Joe, it's not only that, but understand something else. You're giving somebody a right to vote, okay, and in 4 months they still don't pay. So what are you really taking away because they've already voted to be a member, to vote for somebody on the board? We're talking about 2 issues. Okay, one is the right to vote, okay, and the current bylaws state that if they're not in good standing, they don't have the right to vote. And the other issue is that we're talking about the right for them to run to the board. Now, yes, if they didn't do something in 3 months, 4 months, whatever the number is, you could remove them from the board. That's not the issue. The issue is you're giving somebody the right to do something, and if they don't change it, well, it's already done because you're already giving them the right to vote.
How many of those owners, Edgar, are here today to change the bylaws?
Well, I'm questioning whether this is proper or not, but go ahead. I mean, it was done.
They're not here.
We can move on.
They're not here. Right, they're not here.
Right.
Those owners that you're talking about,
right,
with the issues that don't want to participate, that haven't made any good faith effort in paying, are not here.
Right. But that's 70% of the people.
And that's mute.
That's 70%. Well, it's 70% of the people. And it's not mute because if we don't get them on board to start paying their assessment,
that's what we're trying
unless
to do.
we increase the dues, okay? Unless all of us are willing to pay more dues.
That is what the proposal, that's the goal of the proposal.
Joe, you made
That's
your
the
point.
goal of the proposal. What is your
Right.
proposal?
Right.
The proposal is more of the same.
Right. Yeah, that's correct. It is more of the same. Okay. That's what I think will wind up happening. That's why I voted no.
Okay. Well, it may wind up happening. We don't know. But you know what is new? We've all agreed that we may be able to collect their rent or force a sale of their unit.
Right. But Joe, there are mitigating circumstances here. I've got 5 units. Okay. And I'm not saying that because I want people to know I got 5 units, but some of my tenants have serious problems. Serious problems. Okay. Many of them are not working because of COVID. I haven't made any moves to get rid of them like some people on this call may do. All right. Thank God I can afford to carry the weight. I still pay my dues in spite of the fact that they don't pay me. Okay, but everybody may not be able to do that, Joe. That's my argument. Okay, so what if you do? Somebody comes and listen, my tenant doesn't pay. Are we gonna then go make excuse after everybody? And that's what could wind up happening. Okay, I'm sure that the other people on this call that may have tenants that may not have been able to pay. And you can't even evict them because of the courts. You know that, Joe, all right? You know, so it's a real serious problem, okay?
We give fairness a chance first. That's what we're voting on. Fairness.
No, that
Okay,
is
you
for
do
running the
exactly
board.
what you
guys.
did to
Basically,
me
there's
under
a-
those circumstances and you take them to court. How about that?
But the court is not gonna do anything. The court
So
hasn't
The
done
court will.
I
anything,
understand the
okay?
COVID
You
laws
know
now.
that.
Because
You
you're
know.
taking the owner to court.
Yeah,
You're not taking them to court to evict them.
court
You're
is not a
taking the
victim.
owner to court to pay,
Well, but Lynn, you
which is
thought
what
about
you
COVID?
did to me when I could
No
not collect
state
rent
is
because of COVID.
allowing any tenant to get evicted. Don't you read the newspapers, Lynn? Where are you?
Are you not listening?
Now, are you listening? Are you
You
reading
took
what's
me
happening?
to court when my tenants couldn't pay
That-
to pay the
that-
dues.
Yeah, but
And now
were
you're
you able
using
to
that as
evict
an
your?
excuse?
Lynn, I'm not going to argue with you about this, okay? Because you don't deserve it, okay? But
Oh,
go ahead.
really?
Two
Let's
separate
carry on.
things.
Let's
You're
carry on.
mixing-
Really,
I think we
Edgar?
are mixing two
What
separate
do you
things.
deserve?
Edgar, you're the one that's
Let's
talking
move on.
about not being nasty and people not making accusations. Now you just did that. You can't
Edgar,
say not to do that.
treat people with respect. What kind of man are you? Treat people with respect.
Okay, so
Okay.
I understand, before we get heated, that
Idiot.
the majority have now voted. So the resolution is adopted.
But for the record, I'm going to confirm whether this is legal, so it would be no surprise
You
if because
would,
we're
right?
governed by
Yeah,
some other
right.
thing. But I don't
Well,
want to
listen.
belabor to the point.
Okay, but listen,
Let's
Edgar,
move on.
Edgar.
Move on. Move
Why
on to the
can't-
next item.
How did he
Move
get in
on
charge
to
in the
the
first
next
place?
item. Okay.
Let me
I
just
can-
make,
Fucking guy.
Edgar,
I
I
don't.
would
I
like
don't.
to make
everybody,
one more
you don't tell
point
all
here
the owners what to
that
do.
Sarah can also vote for
That guy's
Michael.
an idiot.
Yes.
Sarah can vote Michael's proxy, which would give another vote.
No.
Right, well, she voted and it's part of the tally. It's 8 yes and 3 no's.
So is that
Yeah,
9
the
yes?
motion
and
has
three no's?
Yes, because she's voting for Michael also. 9 yes, 3 no's.
Renee, will we have access to this? Renee,
Excuse
will we have
me?
access to this tape?
Yes, you do.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move on.
Move on.
To be clear on that one point, like the two issues you guys discussed, let me be clear on that.
I just want to say it's a little difficult to understand why 4 months of giving somebody an opportunity is such a point of contention. It seems mean-spirited. It seems counterproductive. Okay, let's move on to the next item. So the next item, now that we have adopted this, is to review the resumes and ask questions of the candidates. So those of you that have said that you are not sure whether you were going to run, you need to decide now. Because that was part of this agenda, and we all knew that we were going to be able to announce that we were interested and answer any questions from the owners.
All right,
So
I want to run.
Okay,
okay.
fantastic. So Thomas, tell us a little bit about your background and your vision.
Well, I'm a former building superintendent, handyman contractor from New York. I had 7 buildings, 150 units, and about 250 tenants that I was responsible for on a daily basis. Part of my responsibilities was to, anybody that was a renter would know this, but to take care of the repairs, hire contractors, make sure the jobs are done correctly, the repairs are done correctly, things like that. I had my own handyman for hire company for 30 years, which is pretty successful, I might add. I worked at construction, my brother-in-law's construction company for over 20 years. I think that's a pretty good resume right there.
It's very impressive. Thank you for sharing. Does anybody have any questions for Thomas, who wants to be on the board and help better Snowshoe?
What kind of position would you, this is Vinny, by the way. What kind of position would you want to run for and be proactive about?
Well, I don't know if I want an actual position, maybe something like an advocate of tenants and between yous. An advisor, something like that, maybe.
Okay.
Fantastic. Anybody else would like to announce their candidacy and answer or ask Thomas any questions? All right, who else wants to be on the board?
Okay, Vincent Minio, can I have the floor?
Absolutely, Vinny.
Okay. Yeah, I'm semi-retired design consultant. I spent my career in the engineering industry, designing electronic circuit boards for military contractors. I still do a little bit of that. And in my industry, there's a certain level of competence, intelligence, and integrity that we all expect from each other. And it goes without saying, if you're in the military industry, there are no games played, there are no curveballs played. That is where I'm coming from. I've dealt with that all my career, and I would like to see that practiced here instead of one step forward, two step backwards and everything. We all have an interest in moving forward on this. And I'm not one to throw curveballs. Okay, what you could expect from me in a consulting capacity is as an ombudsman, as an advisor, somebody who has a grip of a balance of right and wrong. Let's all make good decisions and let's do it out in the open. Let's have communicability and, communication skills and availability and accessibility. If somebody has a question or something, they can call me and I will get an answer. Whereas my experience in Snowshoe is anytime I've had an issue, I could not get in touch with anybody. Nobody would return my calls and everything. That is baloney. That has to stop. So I'm an advocate for Snowshoe, and I'm an advocate. That's what I want to see happen, and I will make happen in any capacity that I could be helpful to this organization. As a proactive owner here who cares that this place, I've seen it turn into a slum. I don't want to live in a slum. I live here. I take pride in this place. I would like to be able, as a board member, to police this place. And when I see people throwing garbage that they don't even know how to pack up their garbage and throw it away effectively so that dogs and cats don't rip it apart, I want the ability and the authority to say, look, you got to understand that there are certain protocols here that we all have to toe and get with it, or there will be fines. And, this is where I'm coming from. So if you like that, if you think that's an asset to Snowshoe, well, then vote for me. And if you don't think that's an asset to Snowshoe, look elsewhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vinny. Any questions for Vinny?
It's 8 o'clock.
Any questions for Vinny?
Right.
Okay, anybody else?
Please.
Anybody else? Would anybody else like to announce that they are like to run for the board?
I am running. I'd like to announce I'm running for the board.
Okay.
I'm not sure what qualifications really has to do with this, but I will say that I have my bachelor's in business. I have been an organizer for the last 35 years of my life, maybe 40. And in the 3 years that I've had any kind of awareness of Snowshoe, I have spent more time trying to get Snowshoe together. Even in this last month, I worked with Edgar so we can get with Michael Amico and Edgar to get the insurance. Unfortunately, we still don't have a truck because the truck can't pass inspection. But you need owners that are hands-on, that are there. I spent during the snowstorm, I went to Snowshoe almost every other day trying to make sure that snow was done properly. I fought with the guy that did the plowing, who charged us an astronomical amount of money. I made him go back out and use the Bobcat to try to move more snow. So I have done a lot. I mean, I continue to get cost to see how much it would be for us to fix Snowshoe. I continue to try to put these groups together so we can get owners involved in Snowshoe. And I don't believe that I am at all racist. And I do know that there's people in the group that are racist, but I'm not racist. I don't carry a bone. I don't pick on people because I've got nothing better to do. I don't sit in my house. I am active. And I believe that I would be good for Snowshoe.
Okay, thank you, Renee. Any questions for Renee?
I don't want to give you my opinion. If she
Okay.
ready, she fall.
Anybody else? Would anybody else like to announce their candidacy or their involvement?
Joe, yourself?
So yeah, I would like to participate if you all allow me. I am happy to participate. I've had a long career in business and managing groups, companies, teams, not only domestically but around the world, putting together groups that achieve very highly. I do think that you either think you can or you think you can't. That's it. You think you can or you think you can't. And I believe we can. And I think if we all think we can,
Later, I'm busy.
our goals. But we do have to invest. We do have to invest our time. We do have to invest some sweat equity to make some changes. It's not going to be easy. Nothing worthwhile ever is easy, but we all just have to break it down, take it day by day, assess our progress, and keep moving forward. And I firmly believe that we can turn this around if we all work together.
Good luck.
Here, here.
Sure, Edgar, you can go like that, but
Joe. My granddaughter was waving to me and I was waving back to her.
Okay, I apologize for that.
No, okay, yeah, no, I didn't know whether you saw that. No, she was waving and I was waving back. Okay.
I really do hope you believe that we can. We've got a bunch of people here that really want to do this, and we really want you on board too.
Well, Joe, as I indicated, I'm in the midst of a situation. I've got to make a decision what I'm going to do. If I don't run, and I certainly will commit to this group that I will do everything in my power to see that there's a smooth transition. Okay.
But even beyond the smooth transition, even if you don't run, we still need you. We want you.
I will be there to help. I will, if people want me, I mean, I said we'll be willing to, I would not, as I mentioned before, I would not hold my dues. Okay. I just don't think that that's right. Okay. Although, I could, but that's not who I am. That's not my character. Okay. So I will do that. And, I'll come out there and pitch in and do whatever I can and continue to do what I can in spite of the fact that I'm not very popular amongst this group, but that's okay. I don't mind that. I've been blessed in so many other ways, and to me, being part of Snowshoe, doing this work, and I don't necessarily have to be on the board to do that. Okay. To me, it's part of giving back. All right. I've been very fortunate in life. Okay. In many, many ways. Okay. Situation is changing a little bit for me, certainly not on the financial front, but in other ways. So I may not be able to do as much as I can, but I've contributed a lot, and I have not one regret. There's some decisions that we've had to make, okay, which was not always good because we're always making decisions, from behind the 8 ball. So I wouldn't walk away, and whatever contribution that I can make, I certainly will continue to do it. But I don't know whether I'd be able to serve on the board, but I can be an active owner and an active member and participate as much as you guys want me to.
Well, we definitely want your full participation. Having a board position is only formality. I think, we're all gonna work hard. And the way I think we envision it is all of us are going to have responsibilities, whether we're on the board or not, you know, to try to turn this around, because it's the only way that it's going to work. And, you know, Natalie and Teresa, we need your help too. You know, or we're here to help you. We all have to work together.
Yes, if they need any help, we can help. It's no problem for us.
Fantastic. You guys have a lot of experience. You've put your heart and soul into this, and you know, you've gotten it this far, and now let's all work together to take it to the next mile if we can. All we can do is try, and we have to try together.
No, Joe, listen, to me, I agree with you 100% because I'm a person. Don't you some people, they're already there, they already did the job, and they can come through. So why they do again? That's why they're a little bit irritated. My wife, me, or Edgar, for the reason. They was already with us, they disappeared. Now when they want to come back in, like they're making a miracle. That's why bad us for the reason only. That's all. I know. It's people who look like they want to do something, man. When they're there, they don't do nothing.
They don't do it. Yeah, I understand how that feels. I've had to deal with that too. I've had to deal with that too.
At all, for the reason. That's why I got to give you a name. I don't want to give you a name.
No, that's
You know, I've had to deal with that too. I manage a lot of people, and you know, you get people like that, but that shouldn't deter you from pushing forward to try to get to your goal.
Yeah, man, I understand that. The only thing about me, you know what I mean? The bottom line is money. Because I don't know if you listen to my message or read my message.
I know.
I want to start this speed. That's what it bothered me.
Yeah.
That's why it wasn't my first thing when I come in those shows. I want to give you my money. I like, you know, I pay for the electric, I pay for the insurance. Now the people take advantage of that. And they started to want to disappear. It bothered me. Now when they want to get back in, they do it again. That's all.
I understand. I understand. I know that
in charge. I hope you pay attention on what I say. Because you know it's everything about money, the bottom line. Okay? People don't pay dues, they do for fun. Think about it's a joke. They're talking about it got trouble, everybody got trouble. Me, I got no part of an empty. I still pay my dues. You don't see me complain and have a rent or this and that. This is the right thing to do. It's nothing personal. You do what you gotta do. You do all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's not shoes, they need money for repair. It's a lot of things to repair.
Yeah.
But if the owner, they not pay the duties, we're not going nowhere, Joe.
I know. I understand that.
So
I fully understand that. And that's why we've decided that if they don't pay their dues and people are not accountable, then we may be able to take their apartments, force them to sell. The COVID laws will change. COVID's not going to be here forever, right?
That's it. But
so that's why I don't say much at all because the reason is see, it's when somebody's in you don't know the situation, it's everything is simple. Or like you're gonna change it. Some of the owners they're there, they never show up to the meeting before. Now they're there. I understand why, but that's what I say. We call everybody, everyone, nobody show up. Now they're all there. So what I don't know what's all about.
Well, let's try to keep them all there because when everybody is aware, things will be different. When it's a small group, you know, people start to not really know what's going on. But with everybody's here and we communicate clearly, then we may be able to get everybody to understand you guys.
Yeah, but Joe, we start like 10 people, I believe you. And to the end, we finish 3 or 4 because sometimes going one, most of the time it was Edgar, my husband, and me. The rest, they not sure.
Yeah.
And Joe,
So
Joe, this is a conversation I think for another time, with the board. But I just want to share with the group. It is my feeling, okay, that a lot of people in Snowshoe, okay, whether they're residents and or whether they rent their units, they don't pay because they don't have the money. Okay, and then we have to sit in judgment as to what to do with those folks. Okay, I think you pay, I pay, Natalie pays, other pay because we have it. I don't think anybody, again, aside from the disputes, but what I struggled with, what do you do with somebody who legitimately wants to pay? okay, and is not even able to work out a payment plan for whatever the reason. Because we own a unit, that doesn't make us rich. Okay, because we own a unit, that doesn't mean that we actually should own the unit. Some people own units that probably really can't afford to. Okay, and so you have those human issues, okay, which is a struggle, which I think, we've got to try to figure out how to deal with that, okay?
Well,
not easy.
It's not easy, but you know what?
Try, Joe, see what
Money,
happens.
you know what? The end of the day, you've got to pay your bills because money is what makes the world go round. And although there is that human issue, and we will try to work with them,
right?
If they can't, at the end of the day, they have to sell their units, or we have to force their units to be sold. Because if we don't make those tough decisions, and they may seem cold-hearted,
right? We're going to wind up in the same spot.
We're going to wind up in the same spot, and we're not going to make progress. And we all have a vision and a goal that we share.
Yes.
We have to act like the bank. Represent repo. We have to act. I mean, it's a shame, but this is what we have to.
But now, if I could say something, now with this wonderful technology called Zoom, we could have everything out in the open for discussion. And so nobody's in the dark, nobody gets blindsided, and everybody has the opportunity to state their case. Because I would like to see Snowshoe be fair and not punitive. We only be punitive as a last resort. We're all in this together to be progressive. So I think Zoom is a great thing.
And I think
So
that's
what
what
do you
we're talking about. I think that's exactly what we're talking about. We are going to try to work with people individually if they have legitimate issues. And, but at the end of the day, if they can't make it happen, we have to make tough decisions.
Right. And we have to agree on the time. How much time are we giving these people? That's the issue here. I mean, 4 months, I think that's fair enough, even up to 6 months, depending on the issue. But who makes that decision?
Well,
we as a group have to make that decision. We'll give them another month. But in the long run, who gets hurt? We do, Snowshoe. And we can't let that run down. We can't. And it's unfortunate. Situations arise, but we need to do something. People that lose their jobs, they lose their homes too. Because of it, it happens, and this is the way we should act. I mean, something happens, we don't even have insurance on that. It's like, oh, if something happens, there's a lot at stake here. So we need to look at this in a business way also, at the end of the day. So that's our decision. Is that what we agree with? 4 months?
And we've belabored the point, with all due respect to everyone. We've belabored the point. We've taken the vote. Have we gotten through our agenda? Are there other items?
Anyone else? Yeah, anybody else that wants to announce that they are running for the board, like a board position?
I think my husband was running, right?
Yes.
Would know before us.
Wasn't he run? Didn't he submit the paperwork in December?
Yes, but he sent us an email, and I was hoping he would come today.
Yeah, he couldn't make it because yesterday he couldn't make it tonight. Yeah, he was doing
Mike wants to
something.
be on the board.
Yeah, I thought he submitted the paperwork. I had asked him because I submitted the paperwork.
Yes, he did. Some people submitted their resumes with the first election.
Right, and that's suffice. He is running. He wants to run. I mean, if you want to hear him out, but you can include him also.
Fantastic.
He would like to run.
And he's been a great asset because now we do have insurance on the.
He is a great asset. He is. I mean, he knows a lot and he gets things done. He has my husband is a type where.
What's your husband's name?
Michael Amico.
Okay.
He has no time for all this bliverish going back and forth. He gets things done. He wants to, and he sees things.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even on the board, and he suggested the insurance. He got a good price. He's a man of his word.
He's been very helpful so far.
Yes.
But,
And he can be an asset on the board as well.
I absolutely agree. Unfortunately, this process is something that we have to go through. It's just the way it is.
Oh, okay. So you want him to say something?
Oh, no. I mean, this process of all these conversations and airing all this stuff out is just something that we have to go through to get all of us
Okay.
together.
All right, so we've
Maybe you
reached
can help him with his patience.
my husband.
It needs a lot of patience.
Yeah, it needs
For
a
all
lot of
this chatter.
patience. Yeah, it does. It does. It does.
Okay, so Joseph, where else are we?
Okay,
That's why I come in, Renee, and I polish him. Polish him
Yep,
up.
I know, girl. You go.
all right. So I think we've agreed on changing these bylaws, modifying them.
No, we haven't. Look at,
Well, we had a vote on it.
No.
So we had a majority vote, 3 no's, unless any of the no's want to change their votes now.
Well, if any of the yeses want to change their vote, you should give them equal opportunity.
Or any of the yeses, you're right, or any of the yeses, any of the yeses now want to say no.
Be fair, okay. Be fair.
So if the vote holds, I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yeses to giving this a chance, and we have 3 no's. So I think that is more than the 75%. So I think we're able to move forward with that. And then we also have candidates for the board. So next step then, Edgar, is the logistics of the election.
I believe, and Edgar, stop me if I'm wrong. I don't think we can do it the 22nd. Because in order for us to do an election 5 days from now,
Right, yeah.
certified letters have to go out to all those people we don't have email or telephone numbers to.
Renee is correct,
So
right?
Okay.
they have to be that's why, if you recall, that's why we did the vote last time for a whole week, because we needed to be able to communicate with those people that we don't have any access to.
So when do you think we can realistically start the election week?
Next year.
Well, realistically, the other thing that had to happen was Edgar was supposed to get to us a list of people. Correct, Edgar?
A list of owners,
Right.
an updated list of owners?
Yes,
Okay.
because I know I've updated the list I had
As of
based on
when?
the people I know
Okay.
that sold their units.
Okay.
So I don't know, like there was like 2 sales outside of what I did.
Okay, and that was when roughly, Renee?
I believe building 107, no, building 113, unit 103 or 102. I think in the last 60 days, that unit has sold.
Right.
And I also believe building, well, Alex sold, and he was in building 107.
Right.
What unit are you, Alex?
202. Both 113, 202 and 107, 202s are sold in the last 3-4 months.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And they don't have his name on that list.
And that list was printed out when, Renee, as of the end of January?
Oh, that list I have was printed like in,
Middle of January.
I'm gonna say
beginning of
September,
January.
July.
Oh, okay. So.
No, we had a list like, Renee, we worked on a list on December election, right? The 31, that's how we
Right,
end up in
that-
31 or
right.
41, whatever.
She's saying there have been changes since then.
That's the
I
list
think
that
4
I
sales
got
after that, like,
went
I think there are
down,
4 sales. One is Lynn's unit, one is the 113, 202. There is,
Any sale that I had, I updated on that list.
okay.
Okay, so we need the updated list. Edgar, how long do you think it will take you?
Well, if we could get that updated list tomorrow. I think the question actually is, Renee, how soon can we get letters out to all of the people that we have not been able to communicate with?
Well, I have a mailing list already.
Okay,
You know, I have labels, so
Okay.
it would just be, I would have to verify if there's anybody on the new list
right,
that's not already on a label.
right.
That letter can go out, it can go out tomorrow. It can
Right.
go out as soon as I get the official notice of
Okay,
who's running on the board. because that's what has to go in that letter.
So how much time does Simply Vote need to do this, by the way? And how many days do they need? I think that's Joe's question.
They only need a day. They don't even need a day.
Okay, all right.
No,
Because
let's
what
take it back,
happens is-
Rene. Before that, like I need to like two questions need to be answered, right? How many votes are we going to have? 52 or unique votes? If it
That's
is
why I
50
asked Joe if he finished the agenda, because I know it's part of the agenda.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't on my list. That was another thing. Yes.
No, but that dictates how you're going to like pass the data to Simply Voting, because if it is like you are tying one unit with one email address, then you have to. I need to have 4 unique email addresses, right? Otherwise, like it will be duplicated, right? So
How many people they run? They gotta be 7 minimum.
Who cares? Okay.
So last time, like when we did Simply Voting, you did like unique names and unique email IDs that worked. But if you
right
to do like all the duplicates, we need to find a way to how to accommodate the duplicates.
Right.
So
Are you making a motion?
No, I'm
How
asking
many-
questions. I don't know, like basically. So if it is no.
So
Yeah,
Renee, you
if I had to say like, no, I would go
Joe?
with the unique votes, but like since it is illegal or whatever, like I don't know the legalities, but
Right.
Joe, how many
Yes.
people they got it wrong? At least 5, 6, how many people?
There's only 3 so
There's
far.
7 people on the board. There's I believe 3 sort of at-large members.
But we need 4 more, right?
we got 5 people totally.
We
We
need
got Thomas, Vincent, Rene, Joe, Michael A.
We have 5. We need 2 more.
I see. Okay. So we need the 2 more and then they gotta make it the letters. For
Yeah,
sign.
what are you talking about?
Well,
Please.
Alex, weren't you on the can you hear me, Alex?
What are you talking about? Oh, the balloon.
What balloon? That's it should be for, they wanna make it legal. So that's the 7.
They don't actually.
Oh, well.
This is only on Friday. This is legal.
I
No,
think
but we're not
Alex
gonna
is
leave
on
it, but-
there.
Alex wants to run.
I don't know where he is, but he was on the original and he sent a thing.
Okay. So we need 1 more person. We'll include Alex. Listen.
Shaniqua? Shaniqua?
No, Shaniqua can't.
These positions on the board, if you're on the board, not on the board, whatever, we're just gonna keep doing this as owners. You know, that's just a legal formality.
Right. Joe, you don't have to run 7, or you don't have to elect 7. You could always add them at some point in time. You know,
Right.
you find other people that might be interested and the other board members want to bring them on, and you just go to the membership and have a vote. That can be done easily.
Okay. So let's proceed that way because that's just technicality.
Correct.
We're not gonna get this done with the board doing everything. We're gonna get this done with all of us
Did
working.
you get off the line?
Okay. So then I believe the other issue
Okay,
was,
because we can't hear you. You have to unmute yourself. Well, according to what I'm looking at, you're still muted.
he's muted. I had muted him. I muted those that were making some noise.
Okay, so yes, so you're still gonna be on the board, right?
I wasn't even thinking that, but if I remember,
Can you go on the, listen, go on the Zoom, so you can,
Yeah, and let's give this 10 more minutes and then let's end this. We've made a lot of progress so far. We just need to decide on how these votes will be counted in terms of, is it unit or is it per owner?
Alex, are you there? Can you unmute him, Joe?
I'm trying to, but it's not possible.
Try to unmute on your phone, Alex.
Okay,
Yeah,
can you hear
There
me?
you go.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So
Is there a
Alex,
question for me?
are you running? Are you running for the board or not?
You know what? I was rethinking it, but I have no problem being a advisory member of the board. I think I would probably have a lot to offer in that in that
Okay.
sense.
So that's a yes.
What was that?
That is a yes.
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Okay.
Why you be an asset?
Okay. Well. Okay. I would say that in terms of being able to make right and wrong decisions, being able to be neutral and doing what's best, have a clear idea as to what's best for individuals in terms of coming from a right and wrong perspective. Being an architect, investor, you name it. It's hardly anything that I haven't done before. But in that case, as I say, I was rethinking it, but if I know it could be an asset, just to, as I say, just give advice.
Okay, that you're an architect also might be helpful. Okay, so we have 6 now people that are going to be on the board. Again, we're still going to do this together as a group of owners. The board is just a formality. This really is the team to move everything forward. So now the next thing that we need to clarify is, as Renee was saying, how are we going to count the votes? Do we want to modify the bylaws and count the votes per owner or per unit?
The current bylaws state per unit.
Right. So this is why we're asking if we want to modify that.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, in democracy, it's usually one man, one vote. So I propose every entity just have a vote and keep it simple. Because it's like, you know, a multinational corporation, the person that owns more units now has more power, but then, you know, what if that person then controls everything but does nothing? You know, we need some level of equality so that we can all work together.
Agreed, Joe.
So let's take a vote again. It may wind up the same exact way it was for the previous vote.
Who's making the motion? Joe, you made the motion?
I'm making the motion and I vote.
I second the motion.
One unit, one owner.
Vincent seconds the motion.
Joe, but be clear, you're saying each unit has a vote or just
Each entity. Each entity.
Well, what is let's define an entity.
A person, a legal human being, or a legal entity, a corporation.
Right. So does that mean if somebody has 5, 6, 7, 8 units, they only have one vote? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying that they
unless they own 3 units as a person and 4 units as an entity, as a corporation, then they would get, their corporation gets 1 vote and the person gets 1 vote.
Well, I'm not sure I'm clear on that. Okay.
Sure. So Edgar, you own 2 units and you have a company, Edgar's LLC, that owns 2 units. So as Edgar, the human being, you get 1 unit, 1 vote, and as Edgar, the LLC, you get another vote. You get your 2 separate legal entities.
Okay. So what you're saying is that they have to be different entities or different people, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess since the Supreme Court said corporations are people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I suspect what the board is going to do, but what you create in that situation, somebody has 10 units, they put them in 10 different names and they get 10 votes, right?
If they intend
you create what is known as a control group, and that can be done. LLCs, corporations,
I know,
people, your dog.
Edgar, who's going to waste all that time to do that in Snowshoe? You are? Okay. Then by all means, you don't really, you have a lot of free time.
I like you
what,
said to
what
him,
would be the purpose of that? We just want to clean this place up.
You know, I got to. Listen, I'm you know. Yeah, I just don't know how you disenfranchise somebody like that. Okay.
You're not really disenfranchising anybody. You're giving everybody 1 vote.
Well, but the reality is, you know, it's sort of discriminating, in my view. That's what I would argue against somebody who has the ability to have more than 1 unit. You know, I mean, you could argue both sides of that.
Somebody that doesn't have the ability to have 1 unit.
Right. I mean, you could argue both sides of that. You know, I just don't know where it comes down. And again, I just would want to check what the, what the state bylaws say to that, okay? But that should not inhibit the way this group is gonna vote. So we just ought to move on again.
I think we just got to move on and we just got to focus on the goal. And once we achieve that goal, then we can get into all of these complications. But right now, let's just keep it simple and focus on the goal, because if we give our energy to all of these other things, we're taking away time and energy from fixing the things that need to be fixed. If we get involved in the circular conversation and arguing with each other, we're wasting time and energy from fixing what needs to be fixed. So we got to stay focused.
Okay,
And
Renee.
as I told you earlier, I know everybody has their idea of how things should work, including me. But Foxfire, I can prove to you, Foxfire, to get rid of their drug problem and their monopoly problem, they passed a law, they changed their bylaws where if you don't own, you can't buy, can't live. Now, I can go and get their bylaws for you tomorrow and send it to you.
Are you making a motion to that too?
You have to be a own. In order for you right now, if
Yeah.
you go to buy in Foxfire, you have to be buying as an owner, a residential owner.
Are you making a motion to that?
No, I'm making no, he already made the motion.
No, Renee, you're saying something else.
She's not understanding you. He's asking if you were making a motion for that in Snowshoe. The answer to that is no. But she's
No.
giving an example.
Why is it relevant? I don't understand why it's relevant. That's all.
The relevancy is that they were able to change their bylaws through a vote and allow just people who purchased the units to live there. So the example she's giving is that they were able to make that change. So what we're asking now is to change it so that it's one entity, one vote. Let's get past this so that we can end the meeting and move forward. I vote yes.
Okay, Renee, Renee, do you
I vote.
have that I second Joe's motion and I vote yes?
Okay,
I vote yes, Joe.
so we've got 4 yeses.
I vote no.
Okay,
Who said no?
going down the list.
Who?
going
Edgar
down
said no.
Okay.
Vote
Of
yes.
course.
Joe, the host, what do you vote?
Yeah, Renee, why don't you just do a roll call? It might be simpler.
That's what I'm trying to do now.
Got it.
Joe,
Yes.
Edgar,
No,
Clearly someone who takes care of yourself. So why wait to scream?
going once. So that's Natalie.
Natalie and Teresa. Let's not forget Teresa.
What did you say, Natalie?
He's muted. He must unmute Natalie.
No.
Okay. Teresa?
Teresa?
No.
Okay.
Vincent?
Yes,
48424. I'm gonna
Yes.
say
Alex.
Alex.
Yes.
Lynn,
unmute her.
She got to mute herself, but she mouthed yes.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Nagesh,
Yes.
Thomas. Tom,
You're muted, Tom.
you have to unmute.
You're still muted. The microphone on the
Hello?
left-hand side. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Tom.
Yes, I got
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Okay. So that's everybody that's
No,
here.
Sarah, Michael vote.
Yes.
Yes,
Sarah,
Yes. yeah.
So the vote breaks down exactly as it
Okay.
did previously.
1, 2,
So it's per man, right?
7, 8 yeses and 3 nos.
Okay.
So it's per man, correct?
It's
Yes.
per
Per-
entity.
Per
Per entity.
entity.
Per entity, okay.
I think it's, I think it's fair. One man, one vote.
Yeah.
That's how we base our democratic system.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, I wouldn't argue the point, but for some reason, the founders didn't think that that was the fair way, and that's why the bylaws, I guess, the way that they are. That's the only point I want to raise. Things change.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That's changed. They would have never imagined that.
Probably not.
You know. Okay, so I think we've adopted all of these things.
Yep.
I put this up, this video. I know, Edgar, you want access. Hopefully, you know, it serves for a positive purpose that allows all of us to continue working together and creating this bond that I think we've started to create. So now the next step is just the election. So I know there's
Okay.
some, and Renee and Edgar, you guys need to put together that list and get those.
We've been talking about that. We'll work that out and see how quickly we can get these letters. Renee, I should be able to get you that list tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay, all right, and yeah, we can go from there.
all right.
That's good.
I want to bring
Alrighty.
one more topic, guys. Basically, Rene, I think like I hope you are still like your credit card is being charged for these Zoom meeting recordings. So at some
Yeah.
point, like now we have to all reimburse Rene for all the costs like she incurred running these meetings, whatever, at some point of time, if not soon. Like so, that's the first point. The second point is like Donald did a great job in the last 3-4 days. I got a good reviews from all my tenants and everybody. Like I know it's Snowshoe. So current board or whoever like no need to take good care of him. Like no Donald, like the current caretaker of Snowshoe. So those 2 points I want to highlight.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
So